Alright, Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden is one of the most literate metal bands out there, and they have a lot of songs that are inspired by books. And not only books, they've also done history, movies, political events, mythology. Actually, this is the reason why I'm into metal, Iron Maiden, and their literary interests. Because when I was younger, I watched music video of Flight of Icarus on television. Because it was the 90s and we only had television, not internet or YouTube. And I was impressed because it was so cool that there's a song about myths and not, stupid love songs and all this pop stuff. So that got me into heavy metal initially. The idea that there are cool songs about geeky stuff. So yes, there's a reason why heavy metal is so full of geeks. And some of the books Iron Maiden have done are science fiction and fantasy inspired. And I've selected five of them, five songs that were inspired by science fiction, fantasy, or horror, or older gothic stuff. And I'll mention them here. And I have to start with To Tame a Land. It's a song from 1983's Peace of Mind. The album came when I was 1 month old, so go figure. Suddenly I feel young because there was cool albums coming out when I was born. So yes, I'm not that old, and it's almost 7.5 minutes long, and it's clearly inspired by Dune. They actually wanted to call the song Dune, but the agents of Frank Herbert says no. Frank Herbert doesn't like rock, doesn't like heavy rock, and definitely doesn't like Iron Maiden. I think Eddie on the covers and the devil using the devil as a puppet was not helping, or Eddie with the axe from Killers. Yes, To Tame a Land is a song with those oriental riffs. It's very long, it's epic as fuck, and it pretty much sums the story of Dune, the book, the first Dune book. And this song really made me want to go out and read Dune because, yes, Dune is awesome. If you like the song, definitely read the book because there are not enough Dune quotes in the song. So you have to read Dune because of the cool Dune quotes, like pain is the mind killer and all this stuff. And also because there's a very cool Iron Maiden song about. Here I have to mention that Stranger in a Strange Land from Somewhere in Time is not based on the novel by Robert Heinlein. The song talks about an explorer lost in Antarctica, I believe, or the Arctic Circle, the North Pole, and the book is about creepy sex by a Martian with telepathic abilities or something. It's some hippie thing, and hippies are not metal. However, there's another sci-fi classic Iron Maiden wrote a song about, and it's Brave New World, which is a track from the 2000 album of the same name, Brave New World. That was the reunion with Bruce Dickinson, the singer of the band, and Adrian Smith, the guitarist of the band, rejoining them, and it's based on Aldous Huxley's dystopian classic of the same name. And the lyrics talk about this brave new world. The lyrics are not too much about the plot of the book here, but still it's interesting to see a brave new world and bring the savage back home. That's basically closer it gets to the book's plot. And also from the same album, there is a song called Out of the Silent Planet, which is based on the book Out of the Silent Planet, written by Mr. Narnia himself, C.S. Lewis. It's the first novel in his space trilogy, and you know what? I have read the book, so I can comment of how original it is, but the song is fun. It has a very catchy chorus. Out of the silent planet, dreams of desolation. And it's not a Maiden classic, okay? It's just very catchy, very poppy. It's fun to listen until the chorus start to get your nerves. Out of the silent planet, come the demons of creation. It's poppy, but metal poppy. And since I mentioned Bruce Dickinson and Adrian Smith before they came back for this album, they had an album called The Chemical Wedding under the name Bruce Dickinson that is very heavily inspired by the writings of William Blake, and actually the booklet has a lot of his artwork, and some of the lyrics are inspired by his poems, like Jerusalem, for instance. It's a great album. I really enjoy it more than most of the reunion Maiden albums, with the possible exception of Dance of Death. If you're a Maiden fan, you haven't heard The Chemical Wedding or Accident of Birth by Bruce Dickinson, go get them. They're awesome albums. And of course, we talk about songs inspired by science fiction and fantasy books, but how about a whole album? In 1988, Iron Maiden had an album called Seventh Son of a Seventh Son that was inspired by Orson Scott Card's Seventh Son novel, and in turn this novel was based on a folklore tale of the seventh son, of a seventh son having magical powers, and it's sort of a concept album. What really sets this album apart, in my opinion, is that it's the first album where Steve Harris and Bruce Dickinson sat together and wrote songs. In the previous albums, we had some songs written by Steve Harris and other songs written by Adrian Smith and Bruce Dickinson, and you can basically tell who wrote which song because they're distinctly different. Here, this album is more progressive, more experimental, and actually we have the two songwriters of Iron Maiden working together, and that's awesome. There's some great tracks in there, and one of them, Moonchild, is loosely based on Aleister Crowley novel of the same name. And since we talked about Aleister Crowley, there's a lot of Aleister Crowley stuff in Iron Maiden. I mean, back in Peace of Mind, there is Revelations, which was very inspired by Aleister Crowley, and also Bruce Dickinson had a song in his Accident of Birth solo album, which also featured Adrian Smith, and the song was called Man of Sorrows. And it was written for a horror movie that Bruce Dickinson wanted to produce about Aleister Crowley, called The Chemical Wedding. Yes, you can see that there are all those threads together, and Bruce Dickinson is really a modern homo universalis. He has so many interests. And the movie came out 11 years later in 2008. It was a fun movie. I was not impressed by it, but it was fun. There's some other ordinary mentions, like Still Life, another Peace of Mind song that was influenced by Ramsey Campbell's short story called Inhabitant of the Lake. It's a 1964 story, and I believe it was probably in Campbell's Cthulhu cycle stories. The title sounds very Cthulhuish, so yes, there is some Cthulhu in there. Great. And of course, we have to mention Rime of the Ancient Mariner, which is a 13-minute 75-second track. It's in the Power Slave album from 1984. It's based in Samuel Taylor Coleridge's poem of the same name. The poem, of course, takes 626 lines. Damn, I mean, Samuel add some 40 more lines to make it more metal. Same as with Dune, the song is a summary of the poem. The poem is about a cursed sailor and his sin redemption and the albatross on his neck, and it's epic. This song is amazing. It's very long. It has all those different parts. It's really epic. And of course, there is Murders at the Rue Morgue from the Iron Maiden's second album, Killers, which is based on the story Murders in the Rue Morgue by Edgar Allan Poe. Of course, since the title says 5 songs based on books, not short stories, it's not included here, but yes, you get extra suggestions. Let's get to the final book to mention here. It's a song from Iron Maiden's first album. It's a book, it's Phantom of the Opera, and it's based on Gaston Leroux, Phantom of the Opera. The song is amazing. It doesn't feature Bruce Dickinson, it features the first singer of the band, Paul Di'Anno, and it's great. I mean, there is this riff in the beginning that is absolutely amazing. It's a great song. It's one of the few Phantom of the Opera songs that doesn't try to do a dual vocal man and woman singing to one another, the Phantom and Christine. So that's awesome. So that was 5 songs of Iron Maiden based on science fiction, fantasy, and horror novels. Of course, if you have any other suggestions for this video, leave a comment below. And if you want any other metal bands that have these literary influences and you want other videos for them, comment. As always, if you like this video, you can like, subscribe for more geeky stuff, and I'll see you soon. Stay heavy.